So last week, I said something that I've been mulling over and I've been regretting slightly, and so I'd like to come out and do the YouTube apology. I'll do the sigh. I'll do the sorry. You don't know how many times I've recorded this. Um, Last week I ended on a very harsh comment about Michelle, and I'd like to apologise for that comment. I'd just like to explain it slightly. My headspace. This doesn't justify it. This is just explaining my point of view. So a comment was made about only annoying people have the Greatest Showman ringtone, and so in a moment of delusion, I said, "Quick, someone please call Michelle. We should try this out," because I hadn't personally heard the song, and that's because it was the week of the La La Land announcement, where they're making La La Land into a West End musical, and my whole news feed was full of Michelle's friends quote tweeting it saying, "Big day for annoying people." And so it was just in my head. It was in my head, and then I heard annoying people and my brain went bam. And so, Michelle, I apologise.
Yeah, you slandered me with fucking The Greatest Showman, and now you're slandering me with the fact that I'm annoying. That's just it. You just assumed that, annoying, it's Michelle. That's great.
I think it's uncalled for because The Greatest Showman is a fucking bop. Like, that's a...
It's a great visual album, yeah. That's about it.
That is a great film to get drunk to and just enjoy the noise. That is... You will convince yourself you love that. It's such a good film if you're drunk.
What would be the drinking game rules for The Greatest Showman? Like, take a shot every time.
Every time he puts on or takes off a top hat.
Oh, that's the easy one, yeah. That would be a lot.
Every time he's mean to a freak. Every time that he gets upset looking at rich people.
Is he mean to them? I thought the plot was like... No,
yeah, he pushes them out. He doesn't let them into the party, does he? And then he pretends they don't exist. And he says, "I'm with the higher society now. You can't be nice. You can't join us."
It's the only bit of P.T. Barnum they got right.
Yeah, literally. That and burning the whales alive and...
Yeah.
Ugh, I had the story very wrong in my head. Like, obviously, I would just like to clarify, I haven't seen it. I didn't watch that and go, "Oh, he's being really nice
Jake,
to them."
I would like you to explain the plot of The Greatest Showman without having seen it.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think it's about?
Isn't it something like he notices Zendaya and Zac Efron being like really hot in a bar or something?
Yeah.
So it's the inverse of "we really like your vibe." And so I swear he goes up to them and is like, "Hey, you're pretty cool. How would you like to earn some money? This is definitely not a pyramid scheme." And then he just like rounds up. I thought it was like a nice heartwarming tale of like, "Hey, here's my family." They're like, I thought it'd be like a whole positive thing. But I guess not. So maybe it's a bit more like just I found this person in like a ditch somewhere. Is it like that?
So P.T. Barnum commits tax fraud, gets a load of money, decides he's going to open a museum. It fails. He'll open a circus instead, and then he recruits a bunch of freaks. I promise it's not the X-Men. Like,
I was thinking
it's got that vibe. I promise it's not the X-Men. There's not a third act villain where suddenly Zac Efron turns into Magneto. It's just sit for it, enjoy the elephant for a brief moment, and then just listen to that bearded lady song on TikTok, which Oscar nominated, folks. Like,
if this was more like the X-Men, they'd have killed off the bearded lady about 7 times and then brought them back and gone, "It's me."
I'll be honest, I've heard rumors. I think bearded lady will be in Deadpool 3. Like, I think she'll show up at some point. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, she'll cameo with Owen Wilson. She's now head of the TVA.
Oh, I love it.
Why would you make like a musical? Like, obviously, this isn't to pigeonhole musicals into one thing in particular, but like musicals feel like they're big, loud. Obviously, circus suits that. Where does tax fraud fit in there?
I get the feeling at some point someone wrote that down as like a very legitimate script and we want to do this properly, and then someone saw half a second of it and went, I'm gonna change that completely. I'm gonna make this my own thing and forget history, forget the real context. This is what it's gonna be.
I'm just from imagining a version of Tick Tick Boom where it's just him committing a bunch of violent acts to earn a load of money to make
No.
his musical.
No. Not
Just
Tick Tick
Andrew
Boom.
Garfield with an AK-47 singing fucking Bohemia.
So you know the bit where he's like,
Oh my god. Welcome
So
to
I
Urgent
reckon-
Rewrite.
Yeah, welcome to...
I reckon you're completely right. It was someone's like script that they'd been poring over. This was like they'd been researching it. This was like, I'm going to expose all this like malpractice, all this horrible things that this dude was doing. And then they're there waiting in the pitch room. They're then just tapping on their foot like, "This is the greatest show." And then someone's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
The executive was just
No,
like,
that's
the
what
millennials will love this.
money being thrown into a laundry machine.
Yeah. Get this man a new script.
I mean, the songwriters then did La La Crocodile afterwards, didn't they? So
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
They
no,
God,
really?
I reckon
Oh.
that's
The
like,
same people?
I reckon that started off as the same. Like, this is a hard-hitting drama about a crocodile.
There is
just-
no way that's real.
I
could
thought
be wrong.
I thought that was funny news. This has actually altered Michelle's entire world.
There's no way that's real.
Oh, that must be like so embarrassing at like award show or like at industry events where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I wrote the music for La La Land, and yeah, then I went on to The Greatest Showman. What are you doing nowadays, mate? Lyle the crocodile. Yeah. Talk about your life instead, please.
They did
That's
They did-
real.
La La Land.
They did
Yeah.
La La Land and The Greatest Showman.
I
Yeah.
thought that was just like Justin Hurwitz.
No, that was like it was a big like
No,
push on the
Howitz did-
marketing. Yeah.
Or Howitz did all the like musical score and
Mm.
everything, but the actual lyricism and everything was
Yeah.
done by
Oh.
those two.
Because it was the only reason in the world I was like convinced in 2017, okay, I'll agree to seeing this on New Year's with the family, because I thought, hey, there might be a decently written song in there somewhere. Like,
And is there?
Hesitation.
we will leave that one for the philosophers to decide. I tell you what, get the millennials on the phone. We can let them decide. Gen Z, where are you?
Listen, I've heard Shawn Mendes go la 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 la, and it was great.
That's all you need.
Worth the 90 minutes.
The most
Anyway.
painful thing is obviously working in a cinema where we have the screen behind us playing through all the trailers. For like, since when I started in like October until I think around when the film came out, like when did Sing 2 come out? Like May?
Something like that.
So it was like months and months of this Sing 2 trailer, just like over and over. And like we'd all be kind of like mouthing along to it, like singing along, like you just get so brain dead at a certain point, and it'd be the Shawn Mendes song, "There's Nothing Holding Me Back," the acclaimed, the one, the only. And then just as that, like the film came out, and we still had the trailer, and we still had it for another week, and then another week, and we were like, when will our suffering end? And then it finally left, and we were like, oh,
Freedom.
thank God for that. We had 1 week of freedom, and then the La La Crocodile trailer came out with the exact same song, and it still rings in my
Oh.
ears.
Oh,
So this is an appeal for please donate to my therapy fund.
This is like
There'll be nothing holding me back.
I feel like this is where Shawn Mendes becomes your arch enemy.
This is my villain origin story.
Yeah.
he's your John Krasinski. He's your nemesis.
He has no idea, but you absolutely hate him and are plotting his demise.
I'm sure he's a lovely man, but I can't.
I cannot listen to his music again.
Oh dear.
Sweet Christ.
So Oscars happened. I'll try and get us on track. Happened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they happened quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
It was fucking good. I can't lie. This one actually felt like an Oscars again.
Mm.
I feel like we've come full circle. Obviously, the very first episode was discussing last year's
Oh, true.
Oscars.
Wow.
And now we're discussing this year's Oscars. and it's
We didn't really discuss last year's Oscars.
No.
We talked about Will Smith.
Yeah.
we tried to clickbait with Will Smith.
It's like if I asked you what won last year, can you tell me?
Oh fuck!
I know.
Put
Can
me
you
on the
two tell
spot
me?
like that.
Without googling it.
This would be a fun thing, right? Obviously, best actor, we know where that went.
Yeah.
Best actress, was that Jessica Chastain?
Yes, I think it was.
Okay, because Liza Tammy Faye was really
Yeah,
good. I really
yeah.
enjoyed that. What was best picture?
Come on, you know this, guys. You
I'm
know
trying
this.
to. I
Small
literally.
nominees.
I literally know King James was there.
We all enjoyed it.
King Richard,
King Richard,
we're-
that's it.
the... what films were released last
Released last year.
If it... Gang Signs?
This is charades.
Coda!
I forgot to say, it was doing the only sign language that I know. Come on.
Oh.
I thought you were being like, pow, pow, pow. I was
No.
like, what?
This is
What
this
crime
is
film was
hyena.
it
Committed.
last
No,
year?
this is
You're
hyena.
calling Jonathan Majors right now.
Damn it, Michelle.
Oh no.
It was a
I
really
can
nice
say
thing we
that
had going
I
there. Oh dear.
Let's just
But yes.
let that bad joke ruminate like a bad fart.
I think we should have 10 seconds of absolute silence just to kind
I
of
don't think
reflect
we need to
on
do
Michelle's
that.
behaviour.
Anyway, I don't think I'll forget the best pictures this year.
Yeah.
They
I
actually seem
hope that the
quick.
next episode starts with an apology from Michelle,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
showing growth and change.
It's
It was-
topical, okay.
It was kind of like a weird sort of like setup in regards to how I was so sincerely happy that Everything Everywhere won as much as it did. I was very happy to see it sweep to the capacity that it did.
100%.
But it did still kind of result in a little bit of a boring night because it was... I went into that nearly every single one of those that I knew. I thought, oh, this will be the winner. It did win. Like, it did... Like,
But
it was
that's-
so great to see it sweep, but at the same time, it's like, I love an Oscars where it's... I have literally no idea who's going to come out of this as the winner, whereas I think this year it was a little bit more of a safer, more predictable year. But at least that
With
year,
that-
it's for a good reason.
With that, though, it did mean that the best film did actually win.
Yeah,
some Oscars.
exactly. Yeah, precisely. Like, I can complain about it, but it's still a good thing it happened. Like, it was... History
And
was
I-
made, yeah.
I say that saying with all sincerity, whilst also remembering that All Quiet on the Western Front got best score, and I heard that boom, boom every fucking 5 minutes.
Yep.
It was so annoying. I was not the best music of this year.
Yeah, I very much feel like Justin Hurwitz was robbed.
By far. Honestly, that's the only thing that movie deserved.
Did you not like it?
I really liked Babylon, but I also think Babylon is it's a different beast to most of what was on this year.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
no,
really
it was-
good film that you can watch and get a really good night out of. But the rest of them, like, there's actually stuff in there that's... Yeah, I don't think Babylon's doing anything that La La Land didn't do or Whiplash didn't do.
So if that had gotten a Best Picture nom, how would you have felt about it?
I mean, all right.
I'd have been celebrating.
Wow.
I really, really enjoyed it. It's one of those films where I can see why it's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm struggling to see why there's like such a critical reception to it.
Yeah, I don't know why it was hated as much as it was. Or, like, just not even watched. Like, I get the marketing was kind of dog shit. Like, it was a different film to what I thought it was going to be.
Everything I've like seen is like it kind of markets itself as like it's going to be a happier film than I think it maybe it is. Like,
No,
I think
it
it's...
markets itself as it's going to be about one big party that fucking...
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like a
I mean,
real
the first
hype time.
first half is really. It's just then.
That's
I
not,
can't- I
it's
can't
only
wait
like
to
the
see
first
it.
half an hour. Like, that's 2.5 hours. Aiden!
Aiden, he has appeared. Oh my word!
Hello.
He hears
Hello.
partying here, right?
Party. The party is here, folks.
Okay, I have bad news.
Okay.
So I forgot there's a guy in at the moment treating like what's it called? like damp damage in the house. So yeah, reason I'm late. He started tearing up the floor in the hallway yesterday. Today he
Ooh.
started working on under the stairs, which is where the router is. And so he just, without telling anyone, he just unplugged the router.
Oh, thank you. Oh, nice.
And yeah, what I also forgot is he's working in my housemate's room, which is right next to mine. So all morning I've just been hearing fucking drills and shit as well.
Yeah, you can still hear it, I think.
Yeah, that's quite bad.
Yeah. So, I yeah. I don't think I can do this one.
That's
Honestly, unless
alright.
you want to
Yeah,
cut
no
a
worries.
ton of background noise.
Thanks for turning up. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for explaining your absence. We needed that.
Yeah.
I'll write that down.
Apologies, guys. Yeah.
I need a
This is so
signed
the
slip
audience
from
can
your
add to the
parent
law.
guardian.
Yeah. No, you gotta read it. I wanted to come on before I become the next Jezebel.
Well done, Aiden. Thank you for keeping
No,
that dream alive.
We're gonna cut you explaining why you're not here, and then we're gonna theorize at the end of the episode.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's alright.
Sorry to interrupt, but
It's alright.
okay. See you later, guys.
Later.
Bye, babe.
What were we talking about with Babylon?
Like we were just kind of saying, move on. Yeah, so I think a fun game is like when you had like we're all very happy with things that did win. Were there ever any other nominees where you like were secretly sort of like really hoping they would have maybe gotten it, but at the same time you're
Stephanie
not?
Shu.
Yeah, obvious.
Stephanie
big one.
Shu.
Yeah.
Even just her audition tape should have won it. Like,
Yeah.
she was born for that role. And the fact she didn't get it, I get Jamie Lee Curtis needed a fucking, Oscar at some point. But you can't just give it to her because she's an industry staple.
Which like someone said to me, like Stephanie Shu's got more Oscars in her future.
Yeah.
Not to be horrible, but how many more has Jamie Lee got? Like potentially in her
Freaky
future?
Friday 2. Freaky
Yeah,
Friday
yeah,
2.
true,
Freaky Friday 2.
true, yeah,
Freaky Friday
true.
2.
Yeah, true. Like, I mean, they were saying the same thing with Angela Bassett. Like, that was a reason why she should get one. Or how many more chances she got. Whereas someone like Stephanie Shu, there's going to be a hell of a long career that we're now going to see unfold. Like, there's more chances.
To be fair, Angela Bassett did the thing.
She did do the thing.
Did the thing.
But I don't like thinking in that direction because I think ultimately for this performance, like she put a lot into it. Like she was playing such a diverse set of emotions. She was like playing with everyone else so well. It's insane to me that was filmed in a month.
Yeah. It's not even just like the acting ability as well, because it's like she had to go through like the physical side of things as well. Like she had to learn those martial arts. She had to like sell a lot of that as well. Like it's the same reason why I was kind of hoping Cate Blanchett would have maybe gotten. Like I was fucking thrilled that Michelle
Cate
Yeoh won
Blanchett.
it, but I would like to have seen Cate Blanchett win it because I think in another year she would have been like Tar would have been my best picture. Like the amount she does in that film, like she holds the camera in so well.
Tar appears to be like the traditional best picture winner sort of thing. It seems like, whereas it feels like Everything Everywhere has kind of come in and been like, here's this new way of doing things. Here's this new kind of style, all this like hypermodernism and everything. And so I don't know. I feel like Michelle Yeoh's definitely overdue her.
Oh god, yeah.
To me, Everything Everywhere is in the same vein as Parasite, where it's like doing something new that I think you can't really ignore. Like even if it is just sort of doing interesting ways to tell this world or explore this multiple worlds of like different characters and trying to sell you on an idea, I think both Parasite and Everything Everywhere are doing this. Whilst other things like Babylon or like The Fabelmans or like All Quiet on the Western Front are trying to tell you this one specific thing that's doing that really well. And my gripe with Everything Everywhere is how fast it is. Like I feel like you're thrown into this multiverse and then you're there and then you keep going, you're in different areas, you don't stop. Whereas like with this with like these slow moving like Fabelmans is like such a long story that's told over those 2 hours and it's beautiful. But Everything Everywhere is so fast. and I like the idea that storytelling is moving in a direction where we're doing more experiments like that.
Yeah.
Because even if it didn't specifically work for me, the fact that we're getting something like that winning Best Picture
Yeah.
shows that maybe we get more interesting stories out of that.
Yeah.
Which is the same as Parasite, where it's like essentially three different genres of film thrown together,
Yeah.
and it works so well because of it.
And it did for like foreign language films so much. Like it completely opened a door for so many people, and I think this
Exactly.
will do a similar thing. Like for like indie features, like people will seek out some things that I would maybe never have touched that, but now it's going to convince me to go for something new.
I'm curious on your two's thoughts on this, because obviously I know you said it made for like quite a boring awards show because it was all just like, oh, okay, this is all going to everything everywhere. Do you think award shows should be concerned about that in terms of like maybe changing who gets it just to shake it up? Maybe if they have
No.
a maximum on film, like how many awards a film
I-
can get, or
I want to stress this by saying that I will still continue to watch the Oscars no matter what. So them cutting out awards for multiple years, I got annoyed at because it was just sort of like I need to see, I want to see what these awards are. That's the whole point. But the idea that the Oscars needs to retain an audience is insane to me.
Yeah.
Everyone's checking award shows the next day. Like I don't remember the last BAFTAs that I specifically went, I'm gonna catch that right today, you know, because I will just see the awards the next day. It's a thing that goes into a news headline that people can go, oh, this won so many awards. That's really cool. That is the whole point of an award show. It's to stroke someone's ego and to produce marketing for a film and everything like that. And it also celebrates the whole art form as a whole. So the idea that the Oscars needs to bring in that primetime audience, or people who will watch it for 3.5 hours and go, this is going to be really entertaining all of the time. I don't care. I don't think that needs to be the case. I think it's just an award show that celebrates film. I'm going to watch it. A load of other film buffs are going to watch it. People the next day are going to go, oh, that won loads of awards. I'll go and watch that when it's in cinema.
Yeah.
And it works that way. And I think it's insane that, you know, ABC keep trying to force it to be this big thing that it's not.
It's like I read someone said it was that maybe they should take a page out of Jeff Keighley's book, like in what he does with the Game Awards, not necessarily in like
world premiere.
Like we're not going to drop a bunch of trailers, but where room is made to celebrate things, like they give people those opportunities to make those speeches. They bring out that orchestra and they give you like that hit of those scores. The presenters that they bring on are people who are in the industry or have a vested interest in it or are legends of it. Like it's people there who give a damn. Time is given to it, and you can tell that everyone on that stage is very, very happy to be there. Sometimes not always, you get a sense with people at Oscars like, oh, I'm just here for like a check, or it's because I'm a famous face, but like there could be a little bit more heart put into it. I'm not saying like it needs to be like the most viable show, like everyone's going to immediately tune into it, but like there's things they could like add to it to make it just more a bit of a make it feel like more warm and beloved, whereas now it feels a bit cold.
Bring into that though, I also think with sort of the games industry as a whole, and you know the industry of this online ecosystem, i.e. like streamers, YouTubers, things like that, this becomes more of an idea of parasocialism where people are going, oh, I feel like I love this game, so this game is going to do really well, and I would really like to see this game do really well. And it's parasocial in an aspect that like doesn't have a face to it, but it's the same as the idea of like, I will watch the Streamer Awards every year. We'll get to the Streamer Awards later because I think that's a thing I want to talk about anyway. But as a general fact, the reason I watch it is because even if it isn't necessarily, even like if I check myself and understand that parasocial relationships are unhealthy inherently and everything like that, there is always this fact of me going, oh, but I would really like to see Ludwig win for that, or I'd really like to see Jamal win for that, or I'd really like to see Hassan win for that. And it's sort of an idea of like, I see the creators who I know are working really hard behind the scenes and aren't taken seriously by people who, you know, in suits doing these Oscars, and like, look at the biggest production thing. And it's like, Cute Cinderella spent so much money on that award show. It's so well produced because of that. Yeah. And then you have all of these streamers who I want to win. Whereas like with the Oscars, I want Everything Everywhere All at Once to win because it's a really good film.
Yeah.
and I really liked Ki Hui Kwan because I've seen everything that he's done in these interviews, and it shows that he has a passion for this whole genre and everything. But that's the only parasocial relationship I had. You know, I just keep seeing him. It's Brendan Fraser as well. It's like everyone's seeing him finally succeed after years of doing nothing.
Yeah.
This is the sort of idea of like, that's the whole reason people were so excited about their awards and seeing them do really well. And the rest of it was sort of just like, I really like that film. I want that to do well. And that's not as parasocial. You can't get as invested into that. I feel like Elden Ring, people have gone, I really love this world. I really love the people who made this. And I want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
Do you think also some of it with the Game Awards is obviously with the Oscars, like you're saying about all the famous faces, obviously there isn't the same recognizability for a lot of the people at the Game Awards where it is. Do you think some of that plays into everyone's here just to like celebrate games as the medium and like all the games that are nominated? Do you think some of that's it? Because you think about it like celebrating Game Awards, like doing the live music performances and everything, like on paper it seems like that's all there with the Oscars as well. And so it's just interesting to see what
it's just like I feel when I watch something like the Game Awards, or when I felt like I watched the Streamer Awards, I feel like everyone is there, or at least like everyone cares, everyone is very happy that they are there. Whereas when I watched the Oscars, I still feel a niggling like feeling in the back of my mind that some people are just waiting to get this over with. Like it's a tradition. It's just like some people still think of it as the business. Still, some people still think of it as like we have to sell this. Whereas the other two events, it's kind of like just celebrating the medium, celebrating the people who have worked hard within it is the bottom line. That's all that matters. Whereas like the Oscars, I still don't fully feel that it's separated itself from that feeling yet. It was a lot more removed this year than it has been, particularly with a win like everything everywhere, but I still think it's got some ways to go.
Do you reckon some of that is because obviously, as mentioned earlier, with everything everywhere, it kind of is this new wave of filmmaking and stuff shown, like, and also a lot of their first times at an award show like this. So do you think some of that's the freshness of, oh my god, I'm at the Oscars? Like Ki Kwan's like whole attitude towards everything is so infectious, you can't help but love the guy.
Yeah.
Like, do you think some of it's that where other people, maybe the more traditional nominees and stuff, oh okay, yeah, it's another Oscars this year sort of thing, whereas they're like, oh my god, it's the Oscars, and kind of celebrating that. Do you reckon some of that's
has to play into it, really? Yeah. It's just...
I mean, that's the jadism of like being in the industry for as long as you can. I think a lot of things would feel like, I feel like EA every time they go and get like a fucking, I don't know, an award for Apex Legends, I doubt they're like, oh fuck yeah, Apex is nominated for best ongoing game.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't think
I'll
they
go
care
pick
that
up,
much. You know, it's not. It's just the idea of being in the industry for long. It's gonna be like, oh look, I did that. That's really cool. It shows them doing the right thing. But I think they make enough money to know that these awards, as much as like it's great to be recognized and everything like that, if you're just doing it for paycheck to paycheck, things like that, you know, going like, I'm in this industry because I'm good at my job, and I'm going to get the next job and get the money for that, to do the next job to get the money for that, and I can invest that in things that I enjoy. And I think that's the idea, that they have this job, they have the job security to not need this. Whereas there are people like Brendan Fraser who, like, hasn't been, he did really well for a while, and then just sort of lost that limelight, and then is now being recognized finally again for the job that he is good at.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's a big award win for him, because you're like, oh fuck yeah, finally.
Yeah.
This is an industry staple that finally actually got the award that he deserved. Which is also the main thing that I think is why I think a lot of people struggle with the Jamie Lee Curtis thing, is because it's like, as much as like she did give a good comedic performance in Everything Everywhere, she's not the main character. She's not the guy that you're looking at and going, she's really good in this film. You just don't. That's just not what you look at.
I don't know, because like, for me, I came away from that film thinking, like, if this was played by anyone else, I don't think I'd care about that role as much as I do. I think she took a what was in a reality a smaller role, and she made it something else. Like, I think
Yeah.
she made it interesting, and I
Well,
think
that's
that's
just
kind
'cause
of
she's
part of
good
it.
at- That's also just because she's good at doing
Yeah,
comedic
exactly. Yeah.
performances.
Mm.
I think that's just what she's very good at, and it's the perfect thing to have decided her on. But then
Yeah.
that doesn't compare to a lot of what was nominated in that category.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
fucking,
think.
yeah. Well, we can
And
all agree
whereas-
that they did better than what fucking Andrea Riseborough, like, fucking paying to get a nomination. It's fucking wrong.
So it's like it's a I don't know. It's struggle. It's the struggle of like of trying to see this as an art form and see this as like a really necessary award show, which I don't think any award show is necessarily necessary. But for people who are up and coming, they see it and they get an Oscar nomination. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, Peter Capaldi's fucking talked about winning a one for his short film, like years and years ago. And it's like, you have a career outside of that, like a huge one. Like that, no one even recognized you for that. And he still goes, I won an Oscar. Jim Rash is like a huge guy who's done a bunch of cool stuff, and that's really interesting. And he's an Academy Award winning writer.
What did he win an award for?
I can't remember the thing, but it was during his time on Community.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Fair.
So like he's there, like it's a great thing, and you recognize that, and people will
Yeah.
bring that up because you've got that, and they will take that in for their first one. But I feel like there are people like I'm sure people after their 14th probably don't care.
I mean, yes,
I mean, like-
Spielberg was sat there for another night, just like, another one of these. Like, I'm not going to win, but I'm happy to be here. Like, that's the great attitude with it.
Which is ironic because for ages, like for so many years, he was like the old Leo, where it's like he was nominated all these times
Yeah.
and never got anything until finally, like, was it Schindler's List? Was his
Yeah,
first
Schindler's
win or
List.
something?
Yeah, it was his first.
Uh,
The year he
so
swept.
it's funny how we're all like, oh, Spielberg, obviously, like he just goes there and he wins them all and stuff. But yeah, it's funny how that's. But to piggyback off of your comment, Michelle, about Brendan Fraser, I think he's quite refreshingly honest about everything. Obviously, not only about why he was away for a while, but also in terms of him saying, "This is amazing. I've never been more famous, but less employed."
Yeah.
And so him talking about it in the front of like, I'm still looking for a job. I'm still looking for someone to pay me, because it happened when Christopher Eccleston came back to the audios for like Big Finish with Doctor Who as well, where he was saying at the end of the day it's a consistent paycheck. And a lot of people criticizing him for that. It's like, because obviously you just think of like some films in total being like, oh, it's just a money grab and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people have got to put food on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
it's one thing for like a whole product to be deemed as like, oh, money grab, but if people were investing their own millions into a project, to be fair, they would probably also go for the safer bet.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice seeing him be so honest. Same with Quan about him being honest about why he wasn't.
Yeah, Key saying like even just like a couple months before he actually won it, was just saying like, I didn't have health insurance for a whole year because I couldn't get work. And it's like, you just went from someone literally unable to pay for their own health in like the United States, like it's fucking impossible, to go to being one of the biggest actors in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Like that is the path that he carved out for himself, and that happened because he was in Goonies.
I'm so excited to see, like, because obviously I know he's in American Born Chinese with Michelle
Yeah.
soon. And
Isn't
I'm
he in?
excited to
He's
see what
in
else
Loki
he
as
does.
well, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, isn't he
think
going to be in
so.
season 2 or something?
I've heard some announcents from Loki.
I
And
heard-
a lot of them just make me confused.
I sworn
Have
I
you
read
not
he was
seen
going
the
to be in it.
Ant-Man end credit scene?
Forget it.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
So what would you
Yeah.
say? Oh no, go ahead.
No, I think it's just I think that was a good award show overall. Like, there's only like a few things where I would have gone. This would have been like, I think in the Fablemans, I can never remember his name. Is it Gabriel, the kid who plays Sam?
Yeah.
He should have gotten on. Just watching that
100%,
that film,
yeah.
100% he deserved a nomination. I don't
Yeah.
care. It just did.
I don't understand how you watch that hallway scene at the prom night and not think he deserves a Best Actor nom. That's insane to me.
Yeah. I think throughout all of it, he's showing such a torn, a torn artist. It's like I love what I'm doing and can't figure out how to. I don't think he should have won it. 100%. Brendan Fraser carried a film that probably under anyone else wouldn't have got a nomination.
That was the thing as well,
I've still
because
not seen it.
Judd Hirsch was like, he was given a nomination for supporting actor for that film, and I kind of feel like it's a great scene that he's in, but it's also just a scene. Whereas I think Paul Dano, I mean, Christ, even Seth Rogen, I think, does more in that film.
Seth Rogen is so good.
Yeah, like, does more interesting stuff in that film than potentially Judd Hirsch does. Like, yeah, he encapsulates what the heart of that film is in just a scene, but at the same time, I think Paul Dano did. Geez, like, he broke my heart in that film. Like, that's. I think sometimes it's crazy where they come to some of these decisions.
I felt so stupid because obviously you know the shot from that with of Paul Dano with like the shadow behind him.
Yeah.
Obviously on Twitter that was like posted everywhere, and I was like, it's just a shadow, mate. Like, and then it was only then when I was reading the replies where it was like, oh, it's the shadow of Mitski, or is that her name?
Mitzi, yeah.
Mitzi, yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, that's brilliant. But I really loved what Paul Rogers, the editor of Everything Everywhere, said in his speech, because obviously he said that in this industry especially, it's glorified a lot. The more like you kill yourself for a project, the more it's like damaging to your family or whatever, because it's they're just so into their art. And I think he just put it really, really nicely, where he was like, we're just people doing a job. We're artists. We do better work when we have a better life.
Yeah.
And I think he just said you don't need to kill yourself for a film. You can enjoy it. You can still have an amazing work-life balance.
Yeah.
I know that's something that I've tried to do a lot more with, like, on my shoots, because I used to get so stressed out that by the end of it, like, I'd be speaking to a friend about it, and they'd be like, "Oh, did you enjoy it?" And I'm like, I don't know. I hope we got everything.
Give me a couple months, and then I'll tell you I liked it.
You got to remember to be a person in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then I just thought, if this is going to hopefully be my life, then I've got to make sure that like everyone's enjoying it. And so I've like made much more of an effort to make sure that like if there is any stress on a set, it's on me and not everyone else. But to still, just try and make sure everyone has a good time. Like, especially as I'm at the stage where like I can't properly pay people for their work, making sure that they come away going like they're well fed, and they're like, oh no, I did really enjoy that shoot. Oh, if like I'm on one of Jake's sets, then it's like always well fed and always enjoy it and stuff. And yeah, it's really nice to see Paul Rogers giving that the platform, the same as Daniel Quan saying about like in his speech, talking to his like grown-up child in the future, saying this is not the standard, you do not need to live up to this.
Oh hell yeah.
I thought was just really touching, where what dude, I'm in love with that man.
Hell yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah, sorry, that's my little speech done.
What would you say was kind of like, if you had to just say like your one moment of the night, what was your like favorite little bit?
It was key getting that getting announced, because it was breaking immediately. I broke.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was just immediate. I don't know. I knew he was going to win it. I don't think anyone was sort of doubting it. He was very good in that film. So it was just sort of it was waiting for the announcement. But as soon as it happened, you're like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Thank God they're actually honouring him for it, because he deserved it. Out of everyone, he deserved it.
I had to be up for a shoot early the next morning, so this is the first year in a while I didn't manage to actually see it. But I think it was really good, because this is the first year in the UK that it was on Sky Arts as opposed to Sky Cinema. And I love that, because it means that it's on Freeview, and so it's available to everyone. And just in terms of making something like that, which could be so prestigious and hidden behind a paywall, to make it available to as many people as possible, I think is fantastic. But is it worth, like, because obviously I've seen highlights and clips, if you two both saw the actual full show, is it worth going back and watching it all?
I didn't see all of it. I went to bed, but because I also had to be up early, but I watched what I could. But
I stayed up and watched it all, because I just always do.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think you need to watch all of it anyway. It's never needed to watch all of it. I think it's the announcements that you want, and like it's the big moments happen when they happen. But the idea of having the whole show, they know they have to entertain the audience during it. So like the performances were good, they were fun.
Natu Natu was good.
Natu Natu was incredible.
Yeah, that was really good.
But Jimmy Kimmel, he knows the audience he's playing to. He definitely does. That's the thing. And I'm actually, the only thing I would praise Jimmy Kimmel in that entire hosting thing is that I think he's a good host for the Oscars, because he understands that you have to watch the films, you have to know what you're talking about when you're doing this thing, and even if the jokes maybe don't land, he's in context and understanding what the area that he's in. Like,
what
even
have you got against Kevin Hart, Michelle?
when he brought out the goat from Banshees, that was just sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sweet
Also,
little Jenny.
It's a
Sweet little
donkey.
Jenny.
2, it wasn't the actual donkey.
True.
Like, well, they
Was it not? Was it a hoax donkey?
It was a.
They
separate
weren't gonna
donkey.
send it all the way from
like-
Ireland.
I thought they were. I thought they were
It's
going
like-
to get on a plane.
They just needed Raymond Holt to be like, "You're not Jenny. You're just some common bitch."
I would send a plane for Jenny the donkey.
But it was
My queen.
my favorite thing was when they were doing the cinematography one. They brought out like one of the old cameras, and they obviously didn't shoot on it because it was on film, but they simulated what they were trying to tell, and it was like an idea of teaching the audience a concept that maybe they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like the idea of high angle and low angle, like that's an interesting thing to have done. Finally, showing something of the industry to go, even if this is a base level, and maybe a lot of people who are watching it already know. If you're a new watcher and you watch it, you understand. Oh, now I understand why that shot was really good,
Yeah.
or why that was really, it sold it for me.
Mine wasn't even something that was like, I mean, you could see it in the show, but it wasn't until like we had the photos afterwards. It was just when you had Harrison Ford and Key just, hell yeah, embracing one another, just like, you did it, kid. Like that.
That was
I was just like,
That has to have been
Yeah.
intentional. That had to have been intentional.
someone knew that was gonna happen, perfectly planned. They got the right photo. I was just like, yeah, that's. I can die now. I've had everything I ever need. Like that's perfect.
It was so beautiful. It being Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, did you two see Roger Deakins' comments about the cinematography this year?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
I'm curious as to your two's thoughts on it, because Zach, I know you love the film. He said, plain and simple, the best cinematography of the year hasn't been nominated, and it's just down to kind of like elitism and stuff, where it's just snobbery. Where he's like, Greg Fraser's work on The Batman was the best cinematography of the year, and he said he thinks it's a crime that it wasn't nominated. I'm curious your two's thoughts on that. Do you think that was somewhat maybe snobbery on people's
Remind
parts,
me,
or-
what did win?
It's all quiet now.
All Quiet, I think. I'll Google it.
I couldn't really comment because I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's snobbery, but I think for him to give attempt to give an objective opinion is
True.
on anyone's part is silly. But I can't say I disagree with the man. I fucking adore the cinematography of that film and what they managed to achieve with those lenses. But at the same time, like it is a voting process. Like people put in their votes. You can't call it as it once was, like a bunch of very particular people making very particular decisions. Like the fact that Everything Everywhere can win is now proof that like voting does go into this. Like, yeah, Mr. Deakins is entitled to his opinion, but
I think it's like
snobbery. Just I don't know.
the Academy is like consisted of like 60% votes and like 40% panel, I think, as far as I know. So it is a lot of, it can be swayed. You know, it can happen. But I also, there is definitely some sense of they don't want to nominate the next Marvel film for something.
Yeah.
They never, or the next DC film. They don't try and give them what they probably deserve sometimes.
Well, that's why they tried the Best Popular Film Award for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, which never works
Thank God that
either.
went. I don't mean like it's a matter of opinion. I don't think Deakins is like, I would have given it to Maverick, like personally.
Yeah, I
Like,
would have as well.
Like it's a matter of opinion. Like everyone's gonna have a different idea every single show. Like
But I don't necessarily believe outright that something like All Quiet or something like Maverick were worse than the Batman. You know, like the Batman
No,
is it's another attempt by DC to bring out Batman as a character that they can then sell out more toys and things. That's the whole point of the Batman. And maybe it is more gritty, and maybe Robert Pattinson is a lot better in sometimes, but it's like we're just they know what film they're doing, and they know it's not for the high art idea, which is all, sort of why Joker was a standout, even if Joker kind of, you know, maybe isn't the best film for a lot of people. It's hard to debate that Joaquin Phoenix didn't bring out an idea of this is an artistic endeavor and I want to do well in this project.
Well, I think it's also a conversation of about like this is a potential moment to recognize something that might not happen again. Like the fact of like they gave it to Michelle Yeoh, like that's a history making moment. I think in regards to like you could look at something like Maverick and say we might not potentially see camera moves done like that with that kind of like machinery again. We may potentially see a very similar thing with when the Batman does that again. For all we know, the Batman 2 gets a nomination. Like I think it is. You've got to look at like in that moment they're all doing very different things. What's potentially doing something that I might not see for another 10 or 15 years, or that we may never get another chance to award again. So I think that's maybe something that they could factor into it, as they clearly did with some awards. But
you've also got to remember that Avatar also got that like nomination for VFX, which you knew was going to happen, but it was the idea of like, oh, this is the best VFX that we're gonna see for another decade.
Yeah.
No one's going to adopt that immediately. It's very hard to do water. Even they were saying that they bodged a lot of it together. It was like bits of water that were real and bits that weren't, and it was because they had to play around with it to blend it together to make it feel right. So even if it is the best VFX ever, the fact that it's blended together as well as it is, it's like that took years and years and years just to figure out. It's not going to be adopted in the next Marvel film or the next fucking, you know, next artistic endeavor that comes out. I don't think necessarily the idea of the Batman doing something new, you know, or something interesting with their cinematography that I think I've not seen before, you know.
Yeah.
Apparently James Cameron wasn't at the Oscars because he was holding a party for all his crew on
Oh,
Avatar.
hell yeah.
And I thought
Really? Was that the reason?
What a guy. What a guy.
That's
That's what I saw online, so it could be complete
That's brilliant.
shit.
Because I know Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about it. He said that like the two people who were telling us to come to the cinema this year, James Cameron and I can't remember the other name.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Tom Cruise. They're not here today, so they couldn't spend 3 hours in another cinema.
They're busy. They're busy at work.
Yeah, they've got other things to do. Tom Cruise has a Scientology lecture to do. Okay, give him his time.
Michelle, you're now going to be targeted by the church.
Oh no.
Please be safe. Please be safe.
Whatever.
I would watch him give a lecture, like on Scientology. I'm not necessarily.
That's how they get you.
I'm
That's
not-
how they get you.
I'm not pro Scientology, but I would very much listen to Tom Cruise like talking. If I could go and sit in an audience and listen to him speak, like he could read the phone book and I'd be there. I'd be invested. Like,
I feel like this clip is going to be played on like a Twitter.
This
thread
is how
we do it.
Years
Yeah.
after Zach's like head of the church.
yeah, like I've become
Just be
the
like,
top
"This is how they
agent.
get you."
Yeah. Just there's like posters of me on like recovery
South Park
flyers.
was
Just
right.
if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Oh dear.
Anyway, from one award show to another,
Yeah.
the Streamer Awards
Hell of a show.
legit was very good. I mentioned it earlier, but it was a production that you don't see on Twitch.
No,
It's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, they pulled the hat out of the bag. It was a.
He's even better than last year. Like, I wasn't able to catch it live because I had work very early the next day, so I didn't end up seeing it fully. But I watched a bit of the red carpet and I watched the opening bit, and it's just good. I've rewatched it on YouTube. It is by far setting the standard on Twitch for all this sort of stuff. And I know that the Spanish streamers have done a similar thing, and it was also very, very impressive. But the Spanish League on Twitch is potentially a completely different beast to
Yeah.
everything else. I mean, holy shit. But it was very good. Some of the
Yeah.
nominations were very, very deserved. Some maybe I would agree snubbed. But
The
Very
only
good.
I got the one that I wanted. Like Connor got the best. Sea Doggy got the best charity event. So
Yeah.
I was very happy with that.
Saxophone deserved it.
He did a
To be
hell of
fair,
a job on that.
I always vote for Thankless because Jacksepticeye always just goes above and beyond with the amount of money he
Yeah.
raises every year.
Exactly.
It always happens.
What are the different categories? Because to a complete layman to streaming, I just kind of see best streamer maybe like gaming and maybe like the different categories, but I don't really know what.
Well, they kind of like break it down into different things. Like you've got like the sort of the people events, but then you've also got like the craft or like the event ones. Like they had best charity event, they had like best VTuber, they had best.
Because
Michelle will know a lot better. Like
it's because streaming is such like a diverse thing that most communities don't interact with other communities. So the idea of the first one was very much a centralized few because it was these communities coming together to nominate people in these communities. Because the Stream Awards last year was so big and so impactful, and like it showed that the awards was going to be as big as possible. This has meant a lot more people got nominated than had been prior. So like best MMORPG streamer was always going to go to people who were in that sort of area, so you knew Asmongold was going to win it.
yeah,
But people like Boaty, who is a RuneScape streamer, I'm pretty sure. Like that's a whole different genre to most of the crew that Cutie Cinderella and all that hang out with. Like that is outside the boat. All the Souls-like streamers I've never watched.
I
Wait,
see. I
not a
saw a
single
few
one
of
of
those. Yeah,
I've seen like clips from Ismika, which was heard playing Elden Ring on a dance pad,
brilliant, fantastic.
but I've never fucking seen her, and that's a whole area of Twitch that I've never seen now, and people voted and managed to show off people who actually did this stuff, which is the idea that this is going to bring more people into the community is so fucking cool, as far as I'm.
Yeah.
So it's very targeted to audiences, like they
Yeah.
understand who they're voting. People will vote for, so they'll go, "Hey, here's the best Valorant streamer," or "Here's the best League streamer," because those are communities that people will watch. But the main overall ones, like you get best art, which could be anything, best music, which could be anything really, and then best gamer overall, which could be any game. Then best streamer, best event, best charity,
Best VTuber.
best VTuber. So these are broader stroke categories inside of, as well as ones that are very like inputty, ones that are very specific. That's the word.
As everyone's granddad,
Yeah.
are there people who won that I would know of? Like who are the victories that you're happy like, because I'm not familiar with the streaming world, so like what wins are you guys happy with that were celebrated?
T-Pain won best music streamer.
Didn't
Yeah.
Didn't know he streamed.
You know T-Pain. At the very least, you know T-Pain.
did Ludwig win anything? Like
Ludwig won for the chess boxing event,
yes, yeah.
which
Well, I mean,
obvious.
Ludwig, yeah.
That was such an obvious, like, he had to win that. Even if there were like some fucking Point Crow Party was incredible. That was Point Crow did a Mario Party event, essentially just recreated the board of Mario Party and a bunch of mini games, and they played Mario Party for about 4 hours.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
That
Special
is
urgent rewrite
so
episode.
fucking
Hell yeah!
cool.
I'll get superstars. We'll play it. It'll be good.
Let's go.
And then like the Germa baseball stream is just Germa doing literally just hosted the baseball event with like funny characters like clowns and shit.
Yeah.
Just because Germa does the most absurdist shit on the platform. It cost him fuckloads of money, but he did it.
Yeah.
That sort of shit. That's. I'm trying to think of other things I've mentioned Hassan to you before. He won best just chatting, so shows that politics maybe don't, divide people too much.
Yeah.
He will not divide us.
No. Best variety went to XQC, biggest streamer on the platform, so obvious. League of Their Own went to Doug. who I've never watched before. But
Me
apparently he's doing quite a lot of interesting stuff because I know that Ludwig now copies a lot of his content.
Fair enough.
That's not me saying that I've seen that, but he says
You know
that a
you're
lot
you
now.
know you're doing well when the king of
Yeah.
the platform is looking at you and thinking, I shall take some notes.
True.
Does-
And then what was it? Legacy went to Germa, so like because he's been
Yeah.
doing this for fucking 15 years.
Yeah,
now.
God, scary how long he's been doing it.
Give
I've
it to
been-
the old guy at the back.
No, it's like Legacy on the streaming platform, Legacy on like events and things. I think he's. I think that was the most deserved thing that happened. Like I've been watching Germa since I was 13. Like he was the guy who introduced me to Team Fortress 2. He's the guy
Wow.
that introduced me to Twitch. He's been there since day dot for me. Like it's been a ride, and then seeing that he gets the recognition for it, even in a community that maybe doesn't see that because they've just seen like the events that he's done. Like it's nice to know that he's not forgotten about. you know.
Yeah. Which is kind of like a similar thing for me, because it was like, I was very happy Iron Mouse got Best VTuber, and it was like, you talked about it earlier, Michelle, like having these narratives that you kind of like buy in on, like, she's the VTuber that got me into VTubers, or like had an interest in them, so it was kind of like very happy to see them win.
She was the one. Isn't she the one who broke the all-time sub record for women on?
Yeah, she
platform?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, she did a
It's
subathon
incredible.
and got like I think it was like 190,000.
Scary
subs
amount of
on a
subs, yeah.
subathon. Quite a lot.
I had,
We had a lot of
Yeah.
world record breaking this year because Kai Cenat also broke the streamer record like only a couple weeks ago.
had a very like funny sort of sobering moment where it was like I was at work because I didn't watch it live, and I like watched.
Yeah.
I was like watching highlights of it on my break the next day, and I was like watching, and I was kind of like cheering along in like the back, and then one of my colleagues just went to me, "Why is that guy carrying an iPad up to the stage?" And I was like, so now I kind of have to explain how a VTuber can have a presence in a real award show. I was just like, mate, if I try and break this down for you, we're going to be here literally all day. Just accept that there's a person in the iPad, and we'll move on. Just we haven't got time for this.
My friend lives in here. Okay.
That was a shame. That was the one complaint I had about the whole night in regards to, because Connor had accepted the award beforehand, he didn't have time to get back around to bring Iron Mouse up to the stage, so Ludwig had to do it. So I was like, damn, but hell yeah. People who won it, I was very happy for them.
So was it mainly an in-person?
It's an
event?
in-person event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much everyone was there.
It was a full theater. They had like audience as well. Like the general public could buy tickets and come in and see it.
Like if
It
you
was very well done.
scrubbed all like the stuff on there that said streamer awards and you covered it in like the 95th Oscars, it wouldn't be much of a stretch. Like it was that
very-
well made. Like it was an
Very good.
in-person event to look good. Like
That's awesome.
yeah.
Their red carpet was very good as well. They had Ludwig, Hassan, Squeaks, who's a very new to the platform streamer. I don't think he's that new actually. He's been doing a lot of Mario speedruns for a while, but he's sort of become more of a personality now. And Sweet Anita, they were all doing the red carpet interviews, and it was very, very fun to watch. Because like, Squeaks does not know how to interact with human beings as far as like he knows how to do it in like a conversational way, but when they're talking, he's just looking at the camera, and it's very clear like idle animations from like Crash Bandicoot 2. He's just doing,
What do I do?
Do they not discriminate's the wrong word, but I'm thinking the other one. Do they discriminate between what platform you stream on? Is it like exclusively Twitch or YouTube, or is it everything?
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're trying to sort of, I mean, there were jokes about Kick because Kick's the new platform that's just about gambling.
Yeah.
As in KIK?
No, KICK.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Kick Messenger. That's a throwback and a half. No.
Yeah, it was a good event. It was really fucking fun. The only one that I 100% believe deserved at least some like award. I thought it was gonna get Best Gamer, but either Best Valorant Streamer or Best Gamer. But Tarek was, to me, the biggest streamer this year. Like, he had like the esports league for Valorant has been the biggest it ever will be, I think, or maybe it will double next year. Who knows? But to me, this year, he was the person you watched when you were watching the esports league. Not even the mainstream got as many viewers as he did. That was just how broad strokes his community and his opinion and his personality was to the whole of that community. And I think he showed off so much to do with that game that he deserved a lot more recognition than possible. But that being said, Kaede 100% one of the best Valorant streamers in general. She went from the lowest rank to where she is now, which I think is lower mortal, which is just the rank before Radiant, the top. She's been doing that for the past year, and she's dedicated to that grind, and it's really fun to have seen her improve and do really well. So she 100% was a good pick, but to me, I vote for Tarek because I think Tarek just deserves something. I think he's done so well. He went from being one of the most valuable players in CS:GO on stream, like as a competitive like gamer, to going to streaming and becoming the biggest Valorant guy. I think it's such a cool progression to see from someone who's just sort of deserves it. I don't know. He's such a good personality to have in this space.
What's kind of nice about it as well, because like, you have got legacy players there, but like it's only so old a platform. Like, there's room for the new and the old, and like as opposed to something like Oscars, there is the gentry that will always get it. And we'll push out the new ones. Whereas like with that, there was a voice and a room for everyone, which was really nice to see.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's no one in the people who won it who didn't deserve it. They were very good at it. Everyone has done something specifically for their community, and it's worked really well.
Yeah, like we were happy certain people won, but we wouldn't be unhappy if anyone else won, which is a rare thing for an award show. Like, if I look at anime awards, I was fucking furious. Everything that shouldn't have won it. So, well done, streamers.
Yeah, it was a good fucking event. I'm happy that Twitch is still, because even Twitch sponsored this one. So they actually were trying to promote this, and they were tweeting on their main account, which they weren't doing last year. So they are pushing this as much as they can.
Yeah.
Was it streamed on all platforms, or was it just on Twitch? Or
just on Twitch, because Twitch have in their clause that you can't stream on two main platforms at the same time. You can stream on TikTok at the same time, or Instagram Reels or whatever, but you can't stream on like YouTube and Twitch at the same time if you're partnered. So because she's partnered with Twitch, she can't stream on both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like people were saying recently, because Sea-Dog was doing the Cyclothon 2, like, just this week. It's been brilliant, but, like, people were saying, oh, is it going to be on YouTube? And it's like, no, the contract has been signed. It's going to go solely on Twitch now, just because I'm a partner. That's where it needs to be.
Which is such a stupid thing in general. Was it Ninja has just foregone every contract he can get, because he's just now multi-streams on every platform there is. He's on Facebook, he's on YouTube, he's on Twitch, he's on TikTok, he's on Instagram. Anytime he streams, he's everywhere, just because it makes more sense to him. He makes money from just existing.
Yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that he's Ninja.
Yeah. He has a lifetime contract with like Nike, so he does that. But it means he's as big as he's ever been right now.
He has the Todd Power effect, like in regards to he can walk into a room and say he wants something, and then he'll get it. Like, that's how powerful he is.
Which is weird, because I also think he's one of the more obscure.
His wife for a sandwich.
It's a lot more obscure than he used to be, I think, because then people don't tend to watch much Fortnite anymore, and he's still grinding it.
Also, do you remember there was that? It was what was it, that one year where it was Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and them all came out on stage. They had the dyed hair. Yeah. People still think about and enjoy Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, whereas I don't really think the name Ninja, even though he is in certain circles so amazingly powerful.
Yeah. I feel like, by the sounds of it, Ninja's like one of those people that's kind of like everywhere, where it's like almost a bit like Avatar, where it's like, how is it like people saying, "Oh, what's the cultural relevance and everything?" But because it's the popular thing,
Yeah.
it's just people just watch it, enjoy it, and then go on with their day, kind of thing.
So if fucking any of your grandparents say, "Have you got that Nintendo?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm playing on my PS5. It's fine." That's what Ninja's that for content creators. Like, "Oh, you watching Ninja?"
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, Grandma.
But to sort of prove still the relevance of Fortnite, the other day I went on a venture.
Oh no.
Now you see, Valorant wasn't for me,
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
but something else was. Something
no.
else clicked,
Uh-oh.
and my friends, I got a. If you
got
can
a
read
victory
that.
royale.
I got a victory royale.
He won one.
We dropped. We were on the battle bus. We dropped, and it was perfect. I think
Nice.
that's now where we're going to be going with the channel moving forward. I think Fortnite is going to become a regular piece of the channel. I'm going to be discussing it regularly.
Trios no build. We're going
Hell yeah,
right
let's go and give you
I'd like
good.
to announce this is my final episode of Legendary, right?